Hey, let's get in some news. And really, there was only one bit of news, and it's that USL to Fort Myers isn't happening. After a lot of hubbub of USL needs to get into this market, the $350 million stadium deal is just not going to happen. USL is not going to Fort Myers. What are some thoughts you guys have?
Yeah, the USL pulled out after completing the phase one assessment. Said the conditions to move forward are simply not in place, and they cited they want to concentrate more on spinning up the USL Division One league, and Fort Myers did not really fit into that. Not enough scale, investment, and partner alignment in Fort Myers, and some of the city council members were blaming the relative lack of interest in and size of the market.
John, you look like you have something.
Just seeing that and knowing that this was going to be a League One team, it feels like we're just throwing D1 out there as an excuse. At the end of the day, we're trying to build a pyramid here, and the pyramid is thickest at the base. You need the cities like Fort Myers in the mix. Not every club is going to have the aspirations to say, awesome, we're going for the top of it. And I understand the partnership thing. I understand there were other issues here. But something rubbed me the wrong way about the way they position this from the league office perspective. So, yeah, is it unfortunate for the community? Yes, but I think the USL maybe could have been a little bit less, I don't know, deceitful in the way that they're spinning.
It kind of makes you question, like, where is the action that, because I would say the only reason that you turn Fort Myers down is if there's other better things sort of in the works. And I guess similar to you, John, I'm just a little bit confused about why they aren't. It's not to say that any project should get admitted to USL, because like, we want it to be serious. And at the same time, like you said, you just need a little bit of volume as well. Like, there's a certain amount of a funnel of teams coming into League One as you're feeding this sort of championship and top division dream. So yeah, it's a little bit confusing, especially given how bullish they were about it like not that long ago. So it just makes you think, like, what changed and what else is in the works. I'm sure there will be more clarity on this at some point in the future. Like, something will probably get out, but I just have to, at a certain point, like, you kind of have to trust that something was really, really sour about this deal where USL didn't feel comfortable moving forward.
Well, for perspective, also, it was a USL-driven project, not a local ownership group. So it falls under the Papadakis' real estate empire, and they may not have found the the local investors that they needed to have to make it move forward without having the Papadakis owning this team.
Yeah, fair
and
enough.
The idea of this and Roswell and I think Santa Rosa, maybe in California, this model of the USL is going to go in, work with the city directly, and not have the ownership involved feels like the wrong way to try to gestate these new clubs. I feel like the most important factor for expansion is from day one having an ownership group with a vision and a tie to the community. And if Fort Myers didn't have that, if these other communities don't have that, I don't really know if it's additive to the project at large.
Yeah, as far as I know, all the teams that came in this year, they were all from local ownership groups.
Yeah. You don't want to be like selling someone on the idea of having a team locally, right? Like,
right.
You want them to believe that it can succeed first and foremost.
And MLS Next Pro is back in the picture.
Ryan?
That Alex said exactly.
Sorry.
My question here, and I guess I'm just kind of opening this into the ether, and if anybody wants to respond to it, you can. How much of this has just happened with most, any, if not all, of the USL is coming to blank city, and then we never hear anything else? It just happened to be reported by an ESPN outlet this time, right? How often do you think this happens? Because a lot of these, we're coming to the city. We get a lot of those announcements every single year, and we hear absolutely nothing. They go on complete silence, and we just kind of forget, oh, yeah, that was supposed to happen, a la New Orleans, right?
FC
Where,
Harlem.
right. Harlem was another one, although I think they were in the academy system for a while, but still we hear about a lot of these. It's going to happen, and talk to players, talk to owners, talk to general managers, and they'll tell you the same thing. The USL loves to announce crap. It's their favorite thing to do. How much of this is the status quo? It just happened to be reported.
I mean, clearly the Papadokises in the league, they know what drives eyeballs towards the USL. It's league structure news, it's expansion. It's really not matches being played. Like, that is not the thing that people engage with in the soccer sphere in this country, like it or not. So does it hurt when you can throw out the Roswell thing last year, you can announce Fort Myers, and then they don't really happen? I guess if you're sickos like us, like, you're keeping mental track of it. But by and large, people will see the bright and shiny news up front and probably not follow through with the tracking. It's an interesting conundrum because I think the USL like genuinely wanted this to work out. But if you're just playing the bottom line, I don't think they see this as a bad outcome for them.
Well, isn't it? There was a full article a few years ago. Maybe someone can help me out here, where they talked about McDonald's is very successful as a fast food chain, obviously, but their more successful venture is being a real estate agency. They buy all the best land around. And Ryan, you were going to mention the MLS Next Pro side of this. USL was probably just trying to get ahead and get the real estate, right? Clearly it didn't work out, but at least they got first dibs on it.
The Founders, the movie you're looking for.
Thank you. So, I don't know.
Technically
Any
second
final
dibs. Because MLS Next Pro won the first bid, and then they got booted out. MLS or USL came in second.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of announcing that ends up happening. It is very interesting that this ends up being just kind of nothing in the end, or that it gets reported. This is also, correct me if I'm wrong here, the stadium that they were going to revitalize was the old Red Sox stadium.
Yes.
What is it with the USL and going after like Red Sox minor league affiliates? They have Portland, they have Greenville, they have Pawtucket. Like they might as well just go for Boston at this point. Like they might as well just complete it.
Get FSG involved.
Oh. Blazing Musket reported that Boston City is exploring a USL League One franchise.
The League Two squad?
Yes.
Interesting. That's fascinating. We're just trying to
If you haven't
complete
already, check out Alex's article that he published earlier today, just as an update on all the kind of USL expansion news.
There's a lot of announcements.
We love announcements. Is there any
expansion slop?
Yeah, if you go to our Discord, there is an expansion slop channel, and it cracks me up. I can't remember who was the one that suggested the name, but it made me laugh enough that I'm like, yeah, yeah, we're doing that. Any other news from this week that we didn't really catch up on? All right, are we ready to go on to some League One? All right, we're going to transition to some League One with a little bit of a tactic show.
Become one of my favorite players in the entire USL because of the way he embodies the dynamism and freedom at the heart of the Portland system. You saw him poke the ball away from Carson Henderlong at the start of this clip, and here you see him sitting in a double pivot next to Michel Poon-Angeron, solidifying the central areas and clogging a critical artery up the middle. Because of that positioning, Portland is able to take the ball away and quickly move upfield. Here, Wada, who again is used as a defensive midfielder in this game, is making a daring run toward the white side. Portland has 4 players upfield, but it's that move from Wada that creates an overload and will eventually allow him to cross toward the box to create a shot. Again, it's that mix of structure and dynamism that makes Hearts of Pine and Wada so exciting.
We're not really going to discuss the Portland side of this. Sorry, people. There's a lot more interesting stuff to happen. However, John, this is a personal request. If you could just do a tactic show on WADA every single week, because boy, do the Japanese people interact with tactic shows.
This is so fun. I will say, separate from that, I'm so excited to get to see him in person because, like, what a player.
What a player.
What a player. Damn it.
What a player.
Oh. But yeah, no, like after seeing just like kind of interactions that we got from like the wider Japanese fan base, I totally understand why the MLB does what they do with Shohei. I get it.
Right, yeah, Yosuke Hanya tactic show coming next week.
Well, hey, we talked about Naples, and can we talk about the most fun, most sicko match of the year? And it's brunch time, field trip time, ball can't move time. It was Chattanooga 3, Naples 1. We have a fight, the second fight between Chattanooga and Naples. The ball doesn't roll. We're getting midfield, top left corners, and just all the chaos. It's my favorite thing that's happened in a long time in any kind of U.S. soccer.
Yeah, it was a rain-soaked mess. I'm going to put it out there. I think Naples deserves I don't know. Maybe they don't deserve a mulligan. It was a trap match, and they fell into the trap, especially when 3 of their best players get a red card at the end of the match for whatever happened, scuffle, fist fight, whatever it was. Yeah, you can't fall into those traps. So, I was, yeah. I'm going to say Scott McKenzie is a dark horse candidate, or is he a leading candidate for first half coach of the year? This guy seems to be a master at doing the best he can with what he has. Like he's made this like bare minimum squad work.
I'm going to jump in really fast on that point. Go back and rewatch our Chattanooga Red Wolves preview episode that we did with Eamon Syed, because he told us straight up, McKenzie will make this team a winner. Don't even look at the players on the pitch. He will make them a winner. And I kind of scoffed, and I was like, whatever, this team is bad. Turns out Eamon Syed knows ball.
Yeah, and they're having fun with it too. Like I spoke to Owen Green after the match, and I just mentioned, I was like, yeah, you guys have been a lot of fun to watch. He said, yeah, we're having a lot of fun together. There's a lot of chemistry there. They know it is what it is, and they're putting everything out there.
Yeah, and I mean, I wrote a bit about Chattanooga and the year-over-year improvement we've seen. Last season, they finished with a negative 1.1 expected goal difference per game, which is the second worst mark in the history of League One since League One existed. And this season, they are up, fighting for a playoff spot, putting up really good numbers. It's kind of an ugly style of soccer, and I don't think Scott McKenzie would agree or disagree with that, really. Like, it's a lot of long balls. It's very in-your-face pressure. They lean into the fact that their pitch is a total mess. It's a home field advantage that's very unique in a professionalizing USL, but it makes it a little bit more fun. It's probably dangerous, and I think somebody should address that at some points.
Yeah,
but,
I'm surprised.
I'm here for the whole experience.
Nobody broke an ankle. Like, how did? Yeah, in 2
and
matches.
That game on Wednesday was unbelievable. Yeah. Like, the pitch was one of the worst I've ever seen in terms of the ball stopping in random spots and puddles and the whole 9 yards.
And the Richmond match a few days before that was probably second worst.
Sure.
That was going to be, like, not to be a downer, like, that match absolutely should not have been played. Like, I'm just it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I know it makes for like sort of funny clips and all that sort of stuff, and Men in Blazers retweet, like, you won't believe this, like, 4th division, UK like match that was played. Oh wait, this is the 2nd or the 3rd division in the US. That was like brutal, I think. And like, in addition to how embarrassing it is for for USL, the player safety aspect is like, it just, I don't know. Like the fact that it went ahead is borderline like criminal.
Yeah.
So
I think Matt Bentley posted a story alluding to that this reminded him a lot of those pitches in London growing up as a child.
Well, I mean,
he's used to it.
Clearly was comfortable with it.
Yeah. So yeah, not to be too much of a downer, but like that just should not have happened.
Yeah.
And to be serious, you said the word embarrassing. Like anyone who, because every game that the USL plays is somebody's first USL match they've ever seen. They would see this, and I'm sure they think it's fun, but they'd also think like this is the most amateur version of soccer I've ever witnessed. And that's not what you want in the shop window when you just are putting out a statement a couple of days later of, well, we need the teams that are coming in this league to be D1 capable. And then that's what you're showing off in Chattanooga. I don't know, man.
Thank God this is on at noon on a weekday. So no one is watching this.
And the bad part is I think Chattanooga has the resources to be D1 capable. They just don't do it.
Yeah, if they wanted to, right?
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at like the future schedule for Chattanooga, there were still plenty of other Wednesdays they could have picked throughout the summer that they could have rescheduled this game as well to bring Naples back into town for this one. And honestly, I think like the only way we're going to see like improvements on this would be like outright just fining teams for having an unplayable surface. And there needs to be like some sort of punishment to have a deterrence to this, to always hold like a high standard of facilities. When we're talking about what we're seeing in Loudoun previously this year, of them having problems, it's really, we can't be letting teams kind of fall by the wayside here and like decide, pick and choose when we want to have good facilities or when we want to have a lot of funny clips for or online and just having this game played on a Wednesday. It just it definitely seems like a standard that the league kind of let it go.
I mean, okay, a couple things for me. There were it's so weird. Some of the best passing I've seen Chattanooga do all year long was in this match. And I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know if that means they've been overcooking every single ball and they've needed it to slow down. I don't know. But, like, it was legitimately some of the best passing we've seen all year from Chattanooga. The own goal, like, that was legitimately top corner. I know some people are going to be like, why is goalkeeper off his line? If that was taken again and the goalkeeper's on his line, I still don't know if he saves it. It was that top corner. Also, he definitely made a business decision. He was not going to dribble that any further. Like, that was a business decision. Yes, the funny clips were very funny. John and I posted the same clip at the same time, completely independent of each other. It was so good. Like, ball stops, other guy slings another guy, someone kicks the ball, a pile of mud goes everywhere, and then the ref gives the yellow. Like, come on, that's football heritage. And the last bit of it, we're going to get on the league about this. Yes, this is not the first time Chattanooga's had pitch problems. They went on the road last year, 2 years ago, for 3 months, because they were putting down this grass field because they wanted to be professional and move away from turf. And they did this. So they didn't have a home match for 2-3 months, and then they get this. But how much of this is also on the refs, right? Not just this. We talked about Loudoun earlier. Was it 2 weeks ago that we had Loudoun versus Lexington, and they were both wearing basically the same uniforms? And we just kind of had to live with that. And that's a ref's decision. The ref has to sit there and say, this is not good enough. Somebody has to change, right? Usually it's on the home team to change. Where their away kits, we can get into all that. The ref also could have looked at this pitch and said, this is not playable. Yes, the word could have come down from the league office and just basically been like, this is awful. But also the league office probably trusted the referee to do their job. So, yes.
I would be curious how much leeway the refs feel to potentially postpone a game for field conditions.
I mean, Oakland had their first match postponed every single year because of it.
Well, the traveling turf. But no, I think it's a fair question of like the referee probably has the leeway to do it. I wonder if the league maybe had a say in like whether or not the ref could cancel the game.
I mean, it has. I will say, if you have not been living in the Southeast, it has been an ungodly amount of rain lately. Like, I can tell you from where I live, we've gotten, I think it's 4 times the amount of rain than average halfway through the month. Like, it was like May 15th. We had 4 times the amount of rain than we normally do.
Jeez.
So, like,
Yeah,
it's going to take a long time for that field to drain, but also it's a professional club. Figure it out.
Chattanooga had like I think 10 inches of rain that week, and they had, even after the Richmond match, they had another, I think, 5. Like half of it came between the Richmond and the Naples game. It was just nonstop.
That's rough.
I don't know. I mean, is there anything we could even talk about else with this match? I mean, we kind of got, it was funny. It was absolute sicko stuff. I mean, the high school field trip in the away or in the SG end was the cherry on top of all that for me. I loved it. Yes. Was it dangerous? Yes. Is it a bad look for the league? Yes. Will I probably go back and watch it again to laugh? Also, yes.
Whatever teacher got that field trip approved, just laughing their way to the bank.
Any final thoughts on this one? All right. Well, hey, let's go over to Texoma, where they get their first ever win as the Double Birds take down the Owls in a 2-1 victory. What say you guys?
It was a good win. They earned it. I don't think it's time to panic if you're an Omaha fan yet, but the flags, the alarm bells are starting to go off because they can't seem to score a goal. Except in this match they scored. It looked like an Olympico. I think it was officially credited as a own goal. Who knows? But I think the pieces are there for Omaha. But Texoma, it's been fun to see them come into their own. I think it's been a great decision to give Javier Garcia the starting goalkeeper role. He's been outstanding. And then I've watched multiple times today that goal where Preston Kilwine sent that long pass to Bordachuk, and then sent it to a wide open Asante, just to see like how flat-footed they caught Omaha's defense on that. It was crazy. And I think that pass was just one of the most beautiful things I've seen this year from Kilwine.
And 20 seconds before that, Kilwine had hit basically an identical switch to the left side, and then they recycle possession and just let him do it again. Yep. That's why you sign him in this team. And I thought all 3 center backs in kind of a fluid shape for Texoma, but Calfo, Kilwine, and Jordan Chavez barely put a foot wrong all night long, kept this team really stable. I thought the choice to kind of use Solomon Asante and Ajmir Spengler as a false 9-ish duo, like neither of those are proper strikers, but just letting them have that freedom, have Bordachuk playing off them, did well enough in transition to get the goals. Like you said, Alex, not terribly worried about Omaha. There's a world where they finish a chance or two early, and this is a completely different game. But yeah, full credit to Texoma for trusting the process, becoming more solid each week.
Yeah,
I want to say. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say Javi Garcia like stands on his head a little bit in this one, and in particular the chance for was it Gallardo who like hits it. They sort of claim that it's over the line. Garcia pushes it up onto the crossbar, like basically shooting at an open net. Like I don't even know where Garcia came from, and he crosses like the length of the width of the goal basically to keep it out, and as a very last ditch. And So yeah, I think overall, like Omaha created plenty. Obviously, Dom Casciato also sent off, sort of bizarrely, in this one as well. So I think there is a little bit of tension building at Omaha in the sense that like they are feeling maybe the rough start to the season, even though all of the numbers sort of suggest that they should be better off than they are. But yeah, a little bit of frustration building with Los Bujos.
Javi Garcia is El Paso. He was former El Paso goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Backup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ajmer Spengler. Can we talk about Ajmer Spengler? I just want to put it out there that I hope all the teams that did not give him a look in the offseason are feeling a lot of regret right now.
I never want to be told you so guy, but like I could not shut up about him for a stretch last summer with Tormenta. Like if you watched him play, you know he's so dynamic, like has the ball on a string in his feet. He's showing why he was that guy. I mean, he contested 18 duels in this game, and he's like, what, 5'7", just doing his thing up top. I love watching him.
Ryan, you have something?
Yeah, like from Texoma's perspective, just getting this win, they've slowly been turning a corner over the past few games. Like they were a 90+5 minute penalty away from Charlotte from having 5 unbeaten matches in a row, which I think kind of went unnoticed with that Independence defeat that they had there. But yeah, I mean, if you're Omaha's perspective, they completely dominated the XG battle and may have been unlucky to not get a result from this game as well, but yeah, it is something to kind of look ahead for with Omaha on Naples in their next match, Madison and Greenville moving forward on. It's like at some point they got to find a win somewhere.
I'm not worried at all about Union Omaha personally. Like I'm not even getting warning signs up yet because what was it? Was it 23 or 22? Was it Don Casciato's first year? Someone help me out here. But it was his first year and they got 3 wins in their first 15 and then became the best team in league history. Like they did not lose a game ever again till the playoffs, right? I mean, it's one of those things of they've done this before. On top of that, they are creating chances. Are they finishing them? No. But you lost players that could finish the ball that they are creating, like these changes that they're creating. Another team who did this year where they're creating. The process looks good, but it's not happening. Look at Sacramento. Sacramento in the championship was creating. Boy, were they racking up XG like he was going out of business, but they were doing a bit of a Brighton and they couldn't score. Well, they end up popping off on a 5-piece. We'll get to that tactics show later. But it just feels like they need one day for basically the floodgates to open for Omaha and they'll be fixed. I'm not worried about them at all yet. This stretch lasts for another 5 matches. Then I'll turn on the I'm concerned. But until then, I feel okay.
Kind of referencing the question in the chat from Julian, are you worried about Greenville? Because I think we're all in agreement that Omaha feels like they're going to get there. Greenville, we've got a little bit more of a sample size at this point.
I am personally. And it's one of those situations that I'm not too sure what the answer is. For me, it feels like, hey, maybe let's go to having, maybe having Carlos Anguilano like sit deep as like a sitter to create some more stability and just let everybody else go forward, because defensively they are a mess and they get picked apart constantly, and maybe having a stabilizing force back there will do something. I don't know what it is. I'm getting worried on that front. I also think that maybe this is all good when Rapapa Mensah is good to go. But also, he's been around the team long enough that you can't blame he got into training camp late. Like, we are well into the season. If he's ready, he's ready. The team needs to start scoring more goals. They need to be ready to go. I don't know what the answer is until they make some kind of tactical shift to make some stability in the back line. I'm going to remain worried.
Yeah, and I think the thing with relying on Mensa to get back is that Leo Castro is pouring in the goals right now. Like
Yeah.
they've got the answer up top. To me, I think you're right to identify the defensive thing. And some of it just comes down to health. Like you think about Evan Lee getting minutes at the back, but also playing striker at times. They're having to plug holes. It's like a game of whack-a-mole at certain points. I think if they can find stability, it'll be better off. But you're right to point out the midfield thing in particular. I had some issues with the wing defense early in the season. Chapa Herrera and Carlos Anguiano maybe not doing it for me right now in the pivot. The ideas are still there, and I like the principles, but yeah, it just feels like the execution has dropped off pretty significantly versus 2024 and even before that.
If Greenville loses to Texoma this weekend, should we be really worried?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be
well. You know what? Maybe that was a gut reaction. Texoma has been trending, and even on their first loss this season, where they do end up getting killed, like they were having pretty football, like they were doing nice things. They just, I mean, we talked about it so many times. Take a shot at Jägermeister every time you've heard us say this. It felt like they just did not take this league seriously whatsoever. Now it feels like they're acting like a serious team, and they're starting to look serious. I don't think that if you're going purely off points, I don't think that you should be concerned because, I mean, right now Texoma and Union Omaha are in the same exact place in terms of points wise in their form. And if Omaha beat Greenville, we would not bat an eye. So that was a gut reaction, but I'm actually going to say no.
Texoma is actually overperforming their XG right now, which I would not have expected. For American Soccer Analysis, they're expected to have 3 points right now out of a possible 24. So yeah, not great.
Love that for the double.
This is overperformance.
Yeah.
And like if we're looking at the table right now, to their credit, a win and they could be level on points with AV Alta and Madison right now.
Yeah. I want to ask a question of you guys. We're going to do this live on air. Do we want to hit the Spokane match, or do we want to go ahead and go through the championship?
Well, I was just typing in the chat. We should probably skip Spokane in one of the championship games, so we're on the same page here.
Lovely. Alex, do you want to give like a 1 minute thought on the match?
No. I think okay. I'll just say that Spokane they're playing on another level. They went 77 minutes. They played down a man and still walked out with a clean sheet win against the highest scoring team in the league. The red card seemed to woke them up. They shut down Richmond at every turn after that. And the scary thing about Spokane, I think John also has mentioned this, is that they don't even appear to be playing at their full potential yet.